The 2012 abstract painting by John M. Armleder, titled Cavloc, conveys a mood that oscillates between exuberance and detachment. At first glance, the painting feels playful and decorative, its surface alive with color and rhythmic pattern. Yet this pleasure is tempered by a cool conceptual distance. The emotional register is less about personal expression than about sensory stimulation. It is an almost hedonistic delight in surface that feels knowingly artificial. The work invites the viewer into a visual experience that is at once festive and impersonal, evoking the glossy seduction of design or wallpaper while subtly questioning the seriousness of abstract painting itself. This ambiguity produces a quiet irony. Beauty is present, but it feels self-aware and slightly aloof. Technically, the painting reflects Armleder's process-oriented approach to abstraction, where chance and control coexist. His works often employ poured or freely manipulated paint, allowing gravity and material interaction to shape the final composition rather than relying solely on deliberate gesture. These methods produce layered textures and unpredictable interactions between colors, emphasizing process over authorship. The result is a surface that feels simultaneously composed and accidental, aligning with the artist's long-standing interest in blending gestural abstraction with decorative pattern and conceptual strategies. In Cavloc, technique and mood merge into a reflective meditation on abstraction itself, sensuous in appearance yet intellectually restrained. The 2006 painting Entoloma Sinuatum evokes a mood that feels simultaneously lush and faintly disquieting. The painting's expansive surface suggests a kind of sensory immersion, an atmosphere that is decorative and seductive at first encounter, yet subtly uneasy the longer one looks. The title's reference to Entoloma Sinuatum, a toxic mushroom species, introduces an undercurrent of tension, beauty paired with latent danger. This duality creates an emotional ambivalence where pleasure in color and texture coexists with a sense of artificial excess, as if the painting knowingly indulges in visual opulence while hinting at its own toxicity or overripeness. This work reflects Armleder's characteristic fusion of gestural abstraction and decorative sensibility. Executed in mixed media on canvas, the painting incorporates poured or freely manipulated paint, allowing gravity and chance to shape the composition. These layered drips and flowing accumulations create a surface that feels both deliberate and accidental, emphasizing process as much as image. The result is a painting that resists expressive heroics in favor of cool orchestration, its marks less like personal gestures than events unfolding across a glossy field. The emotional effect is paradoxical, exuberant yet impersonal, seductive yet faintly toxic, a meditation on the pleasures and excesses of abstraction itself. The painting, titled Languard, 2012, conveys a mood of controlled exuberance, an atmosphere where visual pleasure and detachment coexist. It feels luminous and celebratory at first encounter, its surface alive with layered color and texture, yet the emotional tone remains curiously impersonal. Rather than expressing a singular feeling, the work evokes a kind of ambient sensation, a decorative intensity that hovers between elegance and excess. The viewer may sense both delight and distance, as if the painting knowingly indulges in beauty while withholding any confessional depth. This tension produces a reflective mood, sensuous but cool, opulent yet faintly ironic. This work by Armleder is executed in mixed media on canvas. In it, we see he poured and freely manipulated the paint, allowing gravity and chemical interactions to shape the composition into layered veils and irregular flows. This method produces a surface where chance and intention intersect. Rivulets of pigment mingle unpredictably, creating a balance between ornament and action painting. In Languard, technique and mood merge into a meditation on surface itself. The painting becomes less an image than an event, an unfolding of color that feels simultaneously spontaneous and composed, inviting the viewer to linger in its shifting optical atmosphere. Palladium, created in 2018, evokes a mood of luminous excess balanced by emotional detachment. The painting feels opulent and reflective, as if light itself has been suspended across the canvas in liquid form. Its shimmering surfaces suggest celebration and material pleasure, yet the emotion remains curiously cool, less a confession than a spectacle. The viewer is drawn into a sensual field of color and sheen that feels almost metallic or alchemical, hinting at transformation without narrative. The result is a paradoxical atmosphere, indulgent yet restrained, radiant yet impersonal, like a decorative surface that quietly questions its own beauty. The work is executed in mixed media on canvas, consistent with Armleder's process-driven abstraction. His approach involves pouring paint, enamel, or other liquid materials so they flow and interact across the surface, allowing gravity and chemical reactions to shape the final image. These chance interactions produce layered veils, glossy accumulations, and subtle variations in texture and luminosity. Rather than emphasizing the artist's gesture, the technique foregrounds process and material behavior, aligning with Armleder's interest in chance and the equivalence of materials. In Palladium, this fusion of accident and orchestration creates a painting that feels less like a composed image than a slow crystallization, an elegant residue of motion, light, and matter. In Two Telescopes, 2021, Armleder creates a restless and almost biological atmosphere, as if the viewer were peering into a magnified world of cellular activity or chemical reaction. The mood is energetic, yet faintly unsettling. Pools and bursts of color feel alive, even slightly venomous, producing a tension between playful curiosity and organic decay. The painting suggests both wonder and instability, evoking the sensation of looking through a scientific instrument at something vibrant but unpredictable. Despite its exuberant color, the emotional tone remains detached, more observational than expressive, less about personal feeling than about the spectacle of matter in motion. Technically, the work belongs to Armleder's pour painting practice, in which liquid paint is thrown or poured onto the canvas and allowed to spread, mix, and settle through gravity and chemical interaction. The resulting surface, which is described as puddling, frothing, and crackling, emphasizes spontaneous material behavior over deliberate brushwork. This technique produces a layered, fluid texture that both references and gently parodies the drama of abstract expressionism, replacing heroic gesture with process and chance. The painting ultimately feels like an event rather than an image, a suspended moment of movement and transformation, where observation and accident merge into a strangely animated field of color.